What's going on, people? Welcome to your Sunday evening news show. It's not quite the full view. It isn't the full view today. We will have that at a different day, probably tomorrow. But we didn't want to con you guys. You can't have a full view when it's not full. Do you know what I mean? A lot of
Exactly.
people got a lot of people got some commitments and stuff like that. So you are blessed with Owen. You are blessed with Faz, and you're
Wow.
blessed with myself, and
I
we are
mean,
blessed with you lot.
blessed is a strong term. Like
Why?
straight from. Well, we said we don't want to lie to the people, and then you've gone. We're blessed with Owen. That's kind of
Yeah.
That's
Nah, big up. No, believe in you. They're blessed with you.
they're
Believe in yourself,
we're,
Owen.
Do you know what I mean,
here.
Faz? Tell him.
Believe
We're
in
here.
yourself. You hold it down. You know,
Ah.
a lot of the times you hold it down and people like you, so believe in yourself.
I don't. Blessed. That's a strong. We'll move on. It's fine. We can discuss that later.
The triple view. The triple view. Let's go, says Mister. Here we go, says David Lee. Big up to everyone in the comments. Big up to everyone in the chat. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you lot are new to the channel. All the regular housekeeping rules. Faz, Ten Hag said, I've done the last game, whatever. I'm out. Not going on holiday. I'm going Manchester tomorrow. I'm pulling up at Carrington. I got shit to do.
And he said he has energy as well.
and he needs it. He needs it. That's the reports. Ten Hag is starting work tomorrow. What are you saying?
Very, very, very excited. I mean, he looks like he wants to come and handle business. He looks excited. He looks like he understands the job in front of him. All good signs, you know. Players coming in 2 weeks early for preseason. And he's ready to rock and roll. Like I say, clanging and banging. So I'm excited, very much excited. But I don't want to show my excitement. Does that make sense?
Why?
I don't want to show it.
Why?
No. I'm excited, but like this. I don't want to show it. Just hold it. Yeah. So,
Owen, is this how do you feel that this is on its way? Steve McLaren is probably set to join the backroom staff. All right, cool. Van der Gaag is coming with him, etc., etc. But in terms of now that it's here, that he's starting work tomorrow. Is this quite a big moment? The fact that he's coming straight here. He's not taking any time out for a bit. I know there was kind of reports saying that he would come, lay some foundations, then take a short holiday and then get to it. But
yeah.
Now we're actually here. Does it feel a little bit like, boom, this is it now?
There's a couple of ways you could look at it. I think the way that I think most people will look at it is exciting. He just sees like, okay, right, that job's done with Ajax, straight into the United job. Okay, let's get it going, blah, blah, blah. I look at it as he's gone, look, I probably would maybe want to take a holiday, but that needs a lot of work. Holiday? You kidding me? Time off? That's time lost in this project at the moment. He even said it in the quote. I think he said there's a lot of work to do, and then he kind of put on the end, but there's always a lot of work to do at any club. Sort of saying, oh, any big club, there's always a lot of work to do. No, there's a lot of work to do at Manchester United right now. That's why he's got to come tomorrow. That's why I hope. I don't know if he will talk to the players. Sometimes you hear that thing like he'll go down to the dressing room, say hello, shake some hands, introduce himself, blah blah blah. I hope he goes down there, and I hope he shakes down and going, look. For whatever reason, you've assumed this whole time I haven't been watching, even though in today's age, that is ridiculous. Oh, he's just, even though he's the Ajax manager, he's not going to watch the TV, or he's not going to have a tablet, or he's not going to have a phone, or he's not going to be sent stuff. No, he's just not going to talk to anyone at Manchester United, even though he's the next manager. Of course, he's been watching the whole time. We've heard about how meticulous he is, but for whatever reason, some of the players have acted like certainly that, oh, he's there in Holland. That's miles away. Why would he be watching us? If he's in the stands, hopefully, when we play Crystal Palace, hopefully they'll be like, oh, actually, I need to show up today. I actually need to, I need to play. I need to run around a little bit. I need to do something. So maybe that's a positive. But yeah, I looked at it as that's from what we've seen, that's kind of his personality, right? No rest for the weary. The job's the job. It's a big job. He's got obviously a lot of people talking about him positively around Europe, but from his own perspective, he's got to prove himself. There are still a
Yeah.
lot of doubters about him in this massive job. There are a lot of people going, yeah, that's Ajax. I mean, we saw it in some of the reaction to when you were out in Amsterdam in the week. A lot of people saying that's great. Of course they love him over there in Holland, but that's a different league. That's a different club. That's a different level of opposition. This is Manchester United. This is the Premier League. You're talking about competing. That's going to take time, but you're talking about competing. So he's well aware that this is his biggest job, possibly, biggest job he might ever have in his life. And why would he leave anything to chance? He's a details guy. Steve McLaren said that. He's a details guy. When he first training session at FC Twente, Steve McLaren was like, okay, what's going on? He's like, I've got the next 6 weeks planned to the drinks breaks and the toilet breaks. He's got everything planned. Yeah. So he's not leaving anything to chance. So of course he's coming tomorrow. Of course he's already got the next 3 months planned in his head. And that's exactly what we need, because it's going to take a lot of work, and I think he realizes it.
Quotes that were coming in. Tomorrow there will be a party with the staff from Ten Hag. This is what he says. Quote: Tomorrow there will be a party with the staff, but I am not going to. Is it Curacao? Is that how you say it? I believe. That's their post. That's their post-season kind of. I think it's like a post-season kind of get together and a friendly. I think it's crazy that, isn't it? You do that right at the end of a long season, and you go and do that straight away. There is a lot of work to do at Man United. He goes on to say a number of things still need to be organised in the staff and also in selection. We will be working intensively on this from tomorrow. Erik ten Hag has also has holiday plans. He says time management is also important. It was a rough season too. We need to charge the battery. So he's saying he's still got stuff to sort out with his staff. He's still got things to sort out in terms of selections. Yeah, could he maybe be? That's a fine for Faz. The way it rang was like, shit, I hope the teacher don't see it. Confiscate my phone. It's like, shit,
exactly.
That's that
while you're at it, spit out your gum. Yeah,
100%.
Hello, Ten Hag. Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be here.
Picking him up from the airport. He's picking him up from the airport.
No problem. I'll get the hairdryer ready.
Faz is picking him up from the airport.
Yeah, we'll pick him up. Don't worry, it'll be all okay. It's all under control.
I'm sorry. Arby says, Flex, please don't tell me you fumbled the name of a beautiful island nation.
Is it Curacao?
Curacao?
I believe when there's a drink called like blue Curacao. I'm
sorry, man.
I might be wrong with that one.
But when there's like an accent with the AO, isn't that Sal? Maybe. Curacao.
I don't know. I'm the worst with pronunciations. I know that there's a drink with that name in it. And I used to call it Kakarao, and that's massively wrong.
Can someone, just for the sake of,
phonetically spell it out.
Can you put it out phonetically? Yeah, so we can see what's going on with that. Because if there are people from said island, I would like to, pronounce it right. You're right, Flex. Also, maybe it is Sal. Maybe we'll see in a sec when everyone catch up with the comments. But I think it's important that he's basically coming straight away. He's like, I'm not going to no postseason thing. I've won the league. We've drawn 2-2 against Vitesse today. That's all I need. Curacao. Oh, right. Okay.
There's a lot of different. There's a lot.
Nobody knows. The comments don't really know. I'm expecting to see all one answer, and you lot don't really know. Curacao.
See, some people are saying Curacao. Some people are saying Curacao. This is.
Right. Anyways, he's not going.
Well,
there, regardless, he ain't going.
Anyway, he's going to sunny Manchester.
We don't need to know what it is. We don't need to say it. He's not going there. We're not covering it. Flex is going to turn up in Curacao. We're here in Curacao this week. Imagine that. KG on the fam cam. Brilliant.
Oh man, he ain't going there. He's coming to Manchester. That's the most important thing.
100%. And the most important thing here is what Shafi says, love the channel, guys. You boys are appreciated. Big up, Shafi. Really appreciate that, my friend.
We appreciate you.
100%. And super chat here again from Shafi says, I knew it. Ten Hag is not going to said island with Ajax to party tomorrow. He says that there is work to be done at Manchester and he has to start tomorrow. Yeah, that's what we want to see. But at the end of the day, you can see why. He's got a big task ahead of him. He's got so much shit to sort out, let alone, talking to the players, doing Zoom interviews and all that. He's just got to sort out his backroom stuff. Why wouldn't he? All before he can take his own break. Do you know what I mean? Because he's had a long season. Obviously, we've had a disgusting season where they probably don't deserve a break. But obviously, you know, as human beings, they need to have a little bit of time off and come back. Definitely cutting it short. I'm here for that. When we were hearing the reports that, you know, he wants them back as much as 2 weeks early before the actual time. Yes. And I don't think, you know, people should be, or players should be having an issue with that, especially after how awful we've seen it. We'll get back to Ten Hag in a little bit, but Faz, Frankie de Jong is still cooking, supposedly. You know, there's still news coming in about that. Obviously, he's high up on the wish list. There was reports earlier in the week that Ten Hag's, you know, reached out to his agent and stuff like that. There's reports that obviously Ten Hag has sounded out the fact that he wants him. And the Barcelona director is quoted as saying on De Jong, said, "We haven't made any decisions on the squad. De Jong is important for us. We are clear about what we need, and also that we are conditioned by financial fair play." Would you say? Do you think that's? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's likely? Do you think we're going to get this kid?
It's too much flirting around going on for me, for my liking. The manager, like I said this to Owen last time on the last stream. Yeah, we need to do clever business. We need to be clever with our wage negotiations. But if we have a target that we want this player, we need to be able to just go and iron it out straight away. We can't be, oh, maybe we'll get him, oh, this, that, or what do the other club think? Ten Hag wants him. Look, at the end of the day, even I have doubts about, for example, Mr. McLaren. But if Ten Hag wants something, we need to make it happen. There's no flirting about. There's no going back and forth. You know, just iron out the business, get the price right, get the wage right. Boom, get the player in, because he needs to go to work soon. Like, he needs to go to work ASAP. Can't be wasting time around which players we might bring in. What if the transfer falls through and we don't end up getting him? What's the substitute then on? You know, time is of the essence here. Season's finished after the Crystal Palace game anyways. Some of the players, their batteries don't need charging. They need replacing. They need to go like out of the club, right? So he has to replace these players, bring them in, fit them into the preseason, XYZ. So need to be fast, need to be clinical in this transfer window. Too much flirting for my liking. I need to be hearing, yep, De Jong transfer done, negotiations done, whatever, price is set. Player now in talks about personal terms like that. Sorry,
knowing how transfers work and knowing that we're not actually officially at the end of the season yet, knowing that it could be a situation whereby, look, we know that Robert Lewandowski, Barca want him. So to get him, he might have to let go Frankie de Jong. To us, knowing that there are different parties and factors at play, is it realistic? I can understand in an ideal world that we would want to be like, we're linked to Frankie de Jong. A week or so later, we're in negotiations with Frankie de Jong. And then a week after that, we sign Frankie. That's the ideal. But football, we know, and especially football transfers, doesn't really work like that. Is it realistic to want it to be that straightforward with all the other stuff that's going on at Manchester United as well at the moment?
It needs to be. It's not realistic.
But is it realistic?
We need to make it realistic. Arnold,
I don't care what it is. I just know
honestly,
what I want it to be.
No, it needs to be realistic. Honestly, this man is coming tomorrow. He's not even. He's so much concentrated on the job that he's not even going to the party. Like, imagine a club that he's dedicated a lot of his time to won the league, and now he's saying, okay, I'm gonna go and dedicate my time because I've got such a big job in hand, you know. And we have to respect him for that. He could have actually gone to the party tomorrow and enjoyed himself, but he's like, yo, I've got a lot of work to do on and off the pitch, like in the back room as well, with the transfer situation as well. I know what you're saying, it's not realistic, but we need to make it realistic. It's too much flirting going on, because that's just one player, Owen. How many players are we going to bring in this summer as well? So we need to be, we need to consider our budget. Okay, this is the player we want at this price, at this wage, make it happen. Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron, though?
Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron, though? Something that isn't realistic, making it realistic. If it's not realistic, you cannot, by definition, make it realistic.
Anything is possible if you believe in God.
Oh, Planet Faz in his element. Big Faz took one deep breath and said, Owen, it can happen. Yeah, anything is possible. No, but the
Anything
thing
is
is,
possible if you believe
no,
in God.
because
I'm
no,
telling
but
you.
the Faz is funny because Faz does know. Faz knows. He knows that he's like this fucking club. The club's not able to do it, but Faz is just so angry that he wants it to be that. He's staying on it. He's staying on that.
Yeah, because Flex, I'm scared that what if we're playing like this and then we're juggling and boom, the transfer falls through. Then what? Hands on the head again. Next player, next substitute. Need to be quick. Need to give Ten Hag his tools early so he can look forward to his squad. He can look forward to planning. I really, really can't emphasize how good of a preseason I want. Like a really good, happy preseason, a solid preseason. Going forward, he can look for his proper 11-man squad. This is too much every day. De Jong. What's De Jong? Just sign him. Simple.
Well, you say every day. It's not even been a week that we've been linked to
Too much.
Frankie de Jong.
Owen, it's too much. People are signing Haaland,
Less than
Owen.
a week. You want to sign
People are
Frankie
signing
de Jong
Haaland.
before
Yeah, but
Alvarez.
they haven't
release
signed
clause.
Haaland in a few days.
And it was a release clause, and it was because that's their easier transfers to do, because you have to negotiate on price first, let alone then wages, let alone everything else on top of that. Again, we haven't even been linked to him for a week. Granted, we've probably actually been interested in him in way longer, so we probably have been working on this in the background. But my point is, I agree with you. I don't want long, protracted, negotiations or a game of cat and mouse that we've had with players over time, like people like Jadon Sancho. We don't want a saga like that again, right? We just don't. Especially when we know what the end goal is. When eventually we'll sign them. That's the end goal most of the time. It just, for some reason, takes ages to get there. But my point is that literally he hasn't even started yet, Ten Hag. So we do have to be realistic that it's one. If we are going to sign Frankie de Jong, the transfer window hasn't even opened yet, and we could sign him in this time next month. Even then, I don't even know if the transfer window's open then. So it is going to take time. This is part of the process, is it not?
I think, as much as the quickness of the transfer I really want Ten Hag to come in. And even before De Jong comes in, set players need to exit. Set players need to just leave. That probably I would
that's not
put
going to happen
above.
to the end of June. Because the contract's going to
Yeah,
expire. We're going to have to wait to the end of June. So that's over a month at this point.
I don't want them anywhere near the club. Some players, I just don't want them near the club.
So
I don't care.
Don't
I don't want them near the club.
Faz is saying don't turn up, even though you got
don't turn up. No,
left,
honestly, Flex, don't turn up to training. Don't talk to your agent. AC Milan wants a bid. Juventus is meeting you on Monday. You know who I mean, right? Please don't come near the club. Do not come near the club. Like, I really want it like that. I don't want like dilly-dallying and all this. Do not turn up. Go. You're done. So that space is cleared. The other ones that are respectful, we can filter them out slowly.
Faz is on one. Keegan says, why can't we expect normal transfers? They did it with Donny. It is possible on the side that Faz is saying. Just get it done. Faz is right. Before we sign players, we need to know who's leaving, he says. Faz don't want none of these players here. Someone else said as well. Don't know where that's gone, but Faz isn't realistic. There's loads. Faz is he ain't going to make a decision until after the Palace game, obviously, says Lee Martin as well. I just feel like obviously the process is the thing that's gonna dominate in it. Yeah, ideally, I would love it. I would love it to be seamless. I would love it to be quick. I would love it to be, executed really cutthroat. Boom. Like, yeah, you're gone. But it just ain't gonna happen, is it? He has to get here. The season has to actually finish as well. We still got to play Palace. That's another week off. I just think it's gonna be quite quiet. But what would be nice, though, I hear where Faz is coming from, though. What would be nice is to hear, terms have been agreed with Frankie de Jong. Pre-contract signed or whatever, like a here we go. We all want that, don't we? But unfortunately, I think because Barca need to wait for the end, Lewandowski's got to come in. Versus, they've got to work out that deal, then work out what that would look like for the Frankie. Holidays.
Sometimes it's a case of the player's just on holiday for 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks and nothing happens.
It takes time. So, and the transfer window's not even there yet. Faz, would you take N'Golo Kante? Let me ask that question again. Faz, would you take N'Golo Kante next season if Erik Ten Hag said, I want him?
Yes.
Why?
N'Golo, Kante, N'Golo. You know, come on.
Okay, apart from the vibes, apart from the song,
No.
why'd you take
Good.
him?
Solid addition. Would be a solid addition. Yeah.
Okay.
Calm, very calm, decisive, doesn't panic. You know, considering his size, this man is so physical. Considering his size, knows how to make a clean tackle, knows how to win the ball. Really good fit for us. After even winning the ball, the transition he makes going forward, confident. I just know I'm just a bit about his injury. I know after his injury, there's been questions about his fitness and his mistakes. But I think that can be polished. I think that can definitely be polished, and he's a proven player, most definitely a proven player, international level, in the league as well. Yeah, I like him. I've always liked him as a player anyway. So if Ten Hag wants him, for sure, why not?
Wang Chuk says, I'm with Faz. Players like Lingard and Pogba need to leave already, cleared out their lockers. Rashford should already be listed on eBay. Oh, that's harsh. Owen shaking his head. Owen is not having N'Golo Kante. He is 31. A lot of people in the comments saying he's past his best. He's injury prone. Owen, would you take N'Golo Kante?
Look, I'm not going to be one of these people that's like, N'Golo Kante is a terrible player, because he's not. He obviously is a very good player, and he still is a very good player. When did he go to sign for Leicester? 2014, 2015? So he's been playing in England like 7 years. In that 7 years, he's basically won everything there is to win, maybe apart from like an FA Cup, whatever. But he's won a lot. He's won Champions Leagues, back-to-back Premier Leagues with different clubs. He's a World Cup. He's a quality player. And in his peak, at his prime, there wasn't a better defensive midfielder on the planet. And he is on his day still, but certainly a few years ago, he counted almost for 2 players. He was that good. He covered that amount of space. He won the ball back. He carried it, all that kind of stuff. But if we sign N'Golo Kante and we get excited about signing N'Golo Kante, then this new transfer strategy does not exist, because I'm almost worried about it, is because it's almost so in keeping with what Manchester United has done in the transfer market over the course of the last 5 years. We sign a player that has had tremendous success. There's no one's doubting his success, but we're signing a player that's 31. We're signing a player from another Premier League club, hoping that we're signing the player that played maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And at this point, and he'd be for big wages, because he deserves big wages, because he's won all this amount. It wouldn't be a huge transfer fee, but he'd be on big wages. And again, in a year's time or 2 years' time, we'll be having the conversation of, he doesn't play that much. He's got a lot of injuries. Why did we sign a player that was past 30? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? The profile of player we need to be looking for has to change. We have to be looking at those players that are 23, 24, 25, maybe even younger than that, and looking to develop them, turn them into world-class players, and actually, and maybe we might get lucky and find some good players through scouting that can take us back to competing in the Premier League. I mean, I see people saying he's better than McTominay, he's better than Fred. That's fine, but are we still going to be having that conversation? I think a great example is Varane, right? Varane, brilliant signing, right? Everyone said, like you were saying, Flex, Rolls-Royce defender. Everyone's so excited. This is Varane. He's won all the Champions Leagues and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say in retrospect he was a bad signing, because I don't think that's a fair comment to make right now. But we have had the conversation this season, haven't we, of gets injured a lot. Yeah, he's probably on big wages. He's older, and it becomes not a hindrance, but it just becomes a talking point that I just don't think that's the kind of profile of player we need to be looking for. If we had a great side anyway, and the opportunity to get Kante in just for a couple of seasons, you go, great, do it. But
is there a flip side of that bit, though, what you said there? The fact that we're not a great side, and for a couple of seasons, we could potentially get, not the best years of the player, but an upgrade on what we've got for a couple of years. If the transfer fee wasn't crazy,
you've said
it, and then you could get springboard. No,
a couple of years, short-term fix. How many short-term fixes have we seen at Manchester United over the course of the last couple of years?
He's not free, is he?
Whether it's Cavani, whether it's whoever, we always go, I tell you what, for a couple of years. Then, because this is what it would be, we'd sign, we'd go there. Okay, right. Defense midfielder done. A couple of years, we'll revisit it.
Would you take him for 30 million, Owen? Would you take him for 30 million?
No.
On a 3-year deal?
Wouldn't. No. I really wouldn't, because I just don't. We've got to get out of that mindset.
20? Would you take him for 20?
I just honestly, Flex, I don't. You can throw the prices at me. I just
Would you take him for free?
If it was a free, possibly, but again, I would be concerned about wages and signing on fees. It's the same as the Rudiger situation, right? You'd be going for. You're going to be wanting a lot of money, and also, again, we have to realize what the situation we're in. We are going to be playing probably after today's result Europa League football, but there's a possibility Europa Conference League football, right? I would question, why does N'Golo Kante want to come to Manchester United? If it's to win
Step
things,
down.
if it's to win things, why are you coming to Manchester United? With all due respect, why? Because you're not going to. I mean, you might win the Europa League next season. Great, he's already done that with Chelsea. So it has to be another situation. Because it's to play under Eric Ten Hag. Maybe, but he's got a pretty good coach he's playing under right now. Most likely it would be due to money. And then we have the conversation of the wage structure is out of control. Well, the wage structure is out of control is because we sign players in the latter stages of their career that are Galacticos superstars, and they're on big wages. And then after 2 or 3 years of patchy form or playing half the games or a quarter of the games for injury, we go, how are we going to shift these players? Because they're on massive wages. You can almost see it coming. These issues don't get resolved unless we change our focus. We can't preach about changing the focus of signing certain players and then sign N'Golo Kante because we go, oh, we got Kante. Just think, well, you know what I mean?
Red Baron says maybe Kante is just a plaster for this season until we can find a long-term replacement and sort out the mess of the rest of the team. Okay. Here's the thing, though. I agree with it. I actually agree with you. I will play a bit of devil's advocate to open up the conversation, but I do agree about, we have to look at the injury record and learning from our past mistakes. What if Ten Hag wants him, though? We've given it. I mean, there's not loads in this. I don't think this is going to happen. I think it's a bit of a shot in the dark. I think it's quite far out. I think it's quite far wide. I don't see it happening, but it's a talking point. But what if, we've all said we're going to get behind this manager. What if one of his first things was, give me De Jong and Kante?
Well, you back the manager. You back the manager,
just,
certainly, just because I think I wouldn't go with it. Just not to say that Eric Ten Hag wouldn't be in the right. I mean, what was your initial reaction, Flex, when you heard this news? What was your initial reaction of reading it? Did your eyebrow raise and did you go, Kante?
I did one of these.
Yeah.
In my head. Only because, again, I hear what everybody's saying, and there is a poll as well on the channel. Make sure you guys go and vote. And I tell you what, it is very, very even. Should United sign Kante? 49% yes, 51% no. So this splits opinion. Big up Ashley Holt. Thank you for the contribution as well. Really appreciate it, Ashley. My thing, Robert says he's too old and he's bald. Well, on that logic, you don't want Ten Hag either then, because he's bald as well.
He's talking about KG, not Kante.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Actually, I apologize.
No, don't you dare. No, you don't get to do that. You do not get. Faz, tell him he doesn't get to drop that. See a bit of the reaction from me and you and go, oh, I take back my statement. I apologize.
Oh, no, I don't take it back. I don't take it back. I'd say it again. Put the super chat back up.
Oh, okay. Hold on, Owen.
Okay.
The super chat back up.
Owen versus KG charity boxing match, December. Me and Flex are going to promote it. We might as well flex.
Get him on Wicked and Bad. Robert says, too old, plus he's bald. Who's he talking about there, Owen? I think he's talking about Kante, is he not?
Oh, I thought he was... Oh, I thought he was talking about KG. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, Kante. Yeah, fine.
Drive-by settings.
You're out of order, man. You're out of order. Jermaine says, for 6 years we needed Kane for Pogba. Too late. Kante for Pogba, do you mean? I think. And Ashley Holt, thanks for the contribution. Again, Ashley. Ashley says, Fred 29, out. Kante 31, in. Breaking even, question mark.
Is it as easy as that, though? Let's be honest. Is it as easy as that? That would be my question.
LOL Too Hard says, is anyone else having nightmares of Liverpool achieving the quadruple? I can't even concentrate on our team as a Manchester United fan. We'll talk about that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the fact that City managed to get that draw in the end at home, Villa, just make sure they win. I think they'll be all right. But it's an uncomfortable conversation.
It really is. Honestly, I was saying to Flex early on that the whole time, this whole quadruple talk, I've never really bought into it. I've gone, nah, just because I think City will win the league or whatever. Because it's just every time anything like that conversation comes up, it never happens. At halftime today, I felt sick. Honestly, I felt queasy because it was the first time that I thought, shit, like this might happen. Especially
but
like
then when Mahrez has the penalty miss, you're thinking, is the season going to do that thing? Is it? Because that just would have put it to bed, really. Because that means, if they would have won that, that's what continued the 3-point gap. They've got the goals, the 5-goal lead,
And I'm uncomfortable the whole time. I don't want to be watching a City game and feeling somewhere in my body a little bit of joy because City scored. That's not right.
No,
I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting
That's
there
what this team's done to us.
confused.
Yeah. Faz, were you? You sick? Do you think it's okay, the quadruple thing, or are you worried?
I'm going to come on to that, but I just want to clarify something with Kante, right? And this Ten Hag wanting, just quickly.
Let's do it.
We've
finished talking about it yet.
We've all been in this mind space, Owen, that Ten Hag gets what he wants. But I understand having the doubt when a player comes in, considering his age. And I've been the biggest advocate saying we need players that are 22, 23. We're going on a build phase. Why are we even considering players that are 27 plus or 28 plus, for example? It doesn't make sense. Now, in terms of Kante, we have seen him in the league. He's clearly an established player. If there is something, Ten Hag has done this in his own team, right? With his Blind and the likes of Blind and whatever. He's brought players in and all of a sudden turned them around. Maybe he sees something in Kante that we don't see. He's the manager. He knows the vision. He knows the style of play. And he clearly attaches Kante. My thing is there someone else that could do his job? I mean, do you know someone who could do Kante's job better than Kante in our squad? If so, I would have been saying Tchouaméni would have been, for example, a good, or Kamara, the French kid, would have been a good replacement. And Kamara is free as well. But at the end of the day, if he's going for it, we have to back him. We have to back.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree. If Ten Hag says to the board, I really want to sign N'Golo Kante, then we sign N'Golo Kante. But I don't think it prevents us from going, that's very Man United the last couple of years. And then when he looked yesterday, he played in the FA Cup final, right? And they said, oh, this is Kante's first game in, what was it, 2 games? Yeah. He's had a couple of seasons of that.
He played well when he came on as well, by the way.
Yeah, 3 games. And he, every time he plays, it's not a case of he doesn't play well. I know that some Chelsea fans recently have been a little bit like, actually, the discussions come up. I saw a thing that it was when Sarri was the head coach at Chelsea, and he didn't play him as defensive mid, did he? He played him as more of a box to box.
Yeah.
And at the time, he said in a press conference that he doesn't travel with the ball well enough for a defensive midfielder. Basically, him saying my version of a defensive midfielder is more of a deep line playmaker as opposed to a ball winner. And he got heavily scrutinized for that. And I saw that some Chelsea fans were saying, well, actually, it depends on your system. It's partially true. If you had if you were playing a system where your 6 wasn't really a ball winner, but was more of a deep line playmaker, is really Kante specific for that role? Probably not, because he's a defensive midfielder in the sense of he's a ball winner. But going back to Faz's point, if Ten Hag said, yeah, I want him, then you would back the manager, certainly. But my concern would be that he gets on a big contract, and then when he plays half the games, a third of the games of the season, and then we're having the conversation of, he gets injured a lot again.
This season,
where have we learned?
This season, N'Golo Kante has played 40 games. He's played 40 games. In all comps.
That's not bad.
He's played 24 in the league, 6 in the Champions League, 4 in the EFL Cup, 3 in the FA Cup, 2 in the Club World Cup, and played in the Super Cup. He's played 40 games. That to me doesn't sound like someone who can't do it anymore. He's had. I think there's. I personally think I see. Like I was saying when you asked me what my thing was, Owen. Everyone's saying no. But in fact, not everyone's saying no, because the poll is speaking. You've got just about 1,000 votes there, just under. 51% now saying yes and 49% saying no. This is a really good talking point. For me, so someone said there, Kante is in his decline. He's this and that. Ronaldo's in his decline. And look what Ronaldo's just given us. Declines are negative, but it depends at what point you're declining from,
Are we justifying stuff though again, Flex?
Pardon?
We justifying
Yeah,
stuff.
no.
We had this
I don't.
conversation
No.
about Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Hold on. I don't think. Yeah, that's obviously. Yeah, he came and failed miserably, but he wasn't having the impact over games at his age that Kante's having over still now. For me, I'm saying the price is very important. Yeah, but I can't have this like this quick dusting of Kante that like, oh, he's injured, doesn't play anymore. He's just not it. He's washed. The guy's not washed. Kante is not a washed player for me. People have been pushing this for a while. People have been pushing it for a while. His performance levels have dipped to what he used to be. Okay, I can accept that argument. Could he come Man United for a couple of years in a new side on a 3-year deal and play quite a lot of games for Manchester United and have an impact alongside Frankie de Jong if he came as well? I would say yes. I would say yes. The thing that would put me off, the only thing that would put me off is a price. Like I wouldn't want it to be too stupid, but for 20 to 25 million, I'm taking Kante. I'm taking Kante for depends obviously what it is. I can't see Kante being like, I don't know, 300k a week, 350k. I can't see that. If that is the case, then no. If that is the case, then no. But let's just look at it as, is he still one of the best in his position in the world? Yeah, he is. Is he still one of the best in his position in the Premier League? Name me 5 defensive midfielders better than him in the Premier League.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you with
Do you know
that.
what I mean?
I'm certainly with you with that.
Is Rodri? You got Rodri, you got Fabinho. Indeed, he's been injured all year, and I think I've never been on the like the Ndidi thing. I thought he's just okay, yeah. But he's a contender in that, you know, for the position. You got Bissouma, who a bit more box to box, but he's, you know, that type of combative midfielder, win it back, travel with the ball. I still see him as a top player in his position in the world, who doesn't look like slowing down to the rate that I think people are trying to put on him. I think I saw him come on yesterday in the FA Cup final, running around, stopping counter attacks, nicking it off the likes of Mane, doing it. You know, I still think he's got a good few years left in him. And if we signed him, I wouldn't be as against it.
Though, in Chelsea.
No, but
he comes into Manchester United,
we're building
and he was an defensive midfielder. He's basically covering that entire space.
That's like if De Jong comes in it though. Like Kante's lung is not any normal 31-year-old. The guy's got 4 sets of lungs still now. I was watching a thing with Chelsea players. It was an interview. I think Reece James did it, and I think it was Chilwell. Someone, they were talking about who would you, if you had to pick one player to bring with you or something like that, who would you bring? They all said N'Golo Kante because they said he does it's 2 men. It's 2 men in one. Now I know you're going to speak well of your teammates, but still, like I just feel like there's a bit of short-termism with him. I think I'm more willing to give him a chance than some. I wouldn't be completely against it. It splits opinion. I see both sides, but I wouldn't be against it. I don't know if
we can say we need a rebuild at Manchester United. We need to focus on this profile of player, and then a player like Kante that does come up. And again, he is a world-class player.
His profile, does he not tick the profile of what we want a midfielder to be? Does he not? Ball winner, box to box.
But you would be looking at, for me, that you have to look at the age. I just can't get my head around that.
But Owen, what I'll say is his pros outweigh his cons still now. What he can provide still outweighs compared to his injuries and all the other negatives, I think, anyways. Even though his age, like Flex has said, and everybody would probably agree, this man does 2 man's job. We've seen him do it, you know, and he's still, considering all the stuff that's going around, he's still one of the best in his position. Yes, his age is a factor. Yes, we're going on a building phase, but it might, obviously it's not the, you know, solution for long time to come. But is he going to be a better player than the players we have currently now? Yes. But is it a temporary fix? I wouldn't even say it's temporary. Having him for 2 seasons would be more than enough, because as well, we don't have a big budget to go and spend 300-400 million, I don't think, anyways. So it's okay to bring him in just for 1 or 2 seasons, I'd say. And then, you know, as some of the players leave, look to then bring in younger, fresher, better mentality, forward-thinking players for the future. But for now, I don't see how. Does he affect the dressing room? No. Will he put our midfield in decline? Absolutely not. His injury is in question, but I'm sure that can be maintained and managed.
Can
We've
I
said
can I
temporary
put can I
stuff.
put
We've
can I put
no,
can I
carry
just
on,
put
Chris.
some just quickly? Can I just put some numbers just in terms of I think there's a preconceived thing of he's injured all the time and doesn't play. Like just factually, yeah. This is his. This is. I'm going to go back to the 16-17 season. He played 41 domestic games. Yeah, 16-17, 17-18. Yeah, he played 48 games. Yeah, domestically. 18-19, he played 53 games. 19-20, he played 28, so he must have had probably a bit of an injury situation there. Then last season, 2021, the guy played 48 games domestically. And this season, which is the one that's most in our memories where people are saying he's always injured and he's declining, he still played 40. And Chelsea got, one more game to play. Like, I don't see it. Like facts of he's injured and can't play a lot of games. Cool. You could say like, how many were starts and stuff like that off the bench and stuff like that. All right, cool. But he's still having a big say in what goes on because he's playing more than he's not. Like by his normal rate. By his normal rate. Has he declined from what he was before? I'm not going to say he's the same player as he was 3 years ago. Fine, because age cap only, like I say, Ronaldo was the top of the top and is declining and had to adjust his game. That's been managed a little bit better, whatever.
It's not
His
a different
output is still
circumstance,
there.
though, Flex. That's
I
that's slightly
don't think it
different to
is.
his role.
I think
that's
if the
different to
player's
his
good,
role.
the player's good.
Because his role is he's a defensive
His running
midfielder
ain't
that's a ball
declining.
winner.
Yeah, I don't think that's declining.
That's probably fair. But my point is, how many times with different positions have we said they can come in for 2 years, do a job, and during that time we'll figure it out? We never figure it out. Ronaldo will come in for a couple of years, then we'll get in a striker and figure it out. Hopefully, we'll do that this summer. Defensive midfielder, Matic. When we sign Matic, he's going to come in, and then by the time he's finishing up, we'll find a defensive midfielder. We still haven't done that. He's leaving this summer.
So with the question,
Varane was the same. We're going to get Varane in, and then we're going to find this young centre back that's going to figure it out. We don't. And also about managing injuries. When has United managed an injury record properly? When has United ever managed an injury record?
But I'm saying no, but this injury. But I'm saying he doesn't have injury problems. I don't think. He still played 40 games.
But even if he has the slightest injury problem,
still played over 40.
That'll get absolutely exacerbated at United. We said the same thing about Varane, didn't we? If we manage,
Varane hasn't played over 40 games. Varane actually has had injury problems. He hasn't played over 40 games. I don't think he has. But Kante, what I'm saying is factually, there's this thing that he's not fit no more. The guy's played over 40 games.
I think we look at it as United fans, and we've done this so many times. We look at a player, we have in our minds a recruitment strategy that we want. A player like Kante comes up, and we go, oh, N'Golo Kante, look how great he is, look how successful he's been, and we assume that that's going to transfer over to United. And I just think we need to get out of that mindset. It's just to me, it's almost like, wake up. When are we not going to do that? When are we actually going to look at developing a player? When are we going to stop looking at that guy's, lots of people know him and lots of people have seen him be successful in the Premier League or wherever. Let's get him in. And then for a couple of years, we'll figure it out. We never end up figuring it out. And then we have the conversation of in a couple of years' time, he's on big wages. How are we going to get rid of him? What's going to go on? Then we have a conversation of maybe we can still get a job out of him for another year. How many times have we had that conversation?
Kay says Owen is spot on. Jtopia says Owen is spot on. Fresh Guard says Owen, clapping hands. Liam says Owen, 100%. Antonis says spot on Owen. I wanted to read that one actually. JSMEH says Owen is spot on. Everyone in the chat is basically agreeing with Owen. Chris says Flex, you're crazy. If Kante was worth having, Chelsea wouldn't let him go. Well, then let's not get Frankie de Jong then. Why are we getting him? Why are we getting him? If Barcelona don't want him, if Barcelona are happy for him to leave, don't take any player from.
That's
different circumstances. The financial thing, but if they really wanted to keep him,
issue, and he's 26. There is legitimately 5 or 6 good years you could get out and more you could get out of him. N'Golo Kante, who's to say in 2 years' time at United, when he's 33, we go, you're not moving around as much as he used to, and all the stats.
But who's to say? My God, I tell you what, everyone wrote this guy off. He's been a breath of fresh air. He's been winning the ball back, facilitating the ball for the likes of De Jong, and actually we're trying to play a high pressing game. He's actually playing more games than before under a new manager with a new vision, which we couldn't envisage happening.
But we would still have the conversation of we need to find the next Kante. We'd still be having the same conversation we're having now that we would in a couple of years' time.
And at what point do we say then? At what point is the question this? and this is just an open-ended question. Would N'Golo Kante make Manchester United a better team or a worse team, or the same? The three outcomes. That's what my thing is. What would he do? What would he do?
Well, he'd make
Would he
United
make us
better,
better or
but so
worse?
would a lot of players. So would a player maybe half his age. You know, who's to say?
What about Kamara? He's free. He's young. The thing is, because the conversation is so yes and no, like so divided, we shouldn't go for him. I think I'm swaying for that way now.
Well,
because it's so divided.
Yeah. Well, the chat is saying 53% say yes now. So everyone's agreeing with Owen, but it's 53% say yes.
It's weird because if it's not a clear yes, like De Jong is almost like a clear yes, right? It's like probably 85-95% of the fans would say yes, De Jong, cool. Then and the manager, cool. But because it's so divided, so many fans are divided about the opinion. It seems like it might just be better to let it go and looks elsewhere. I think as much as he's a great player, I'm even 50-50. That's why I took time when I initially answered it, because it's age. We want to move forward. We want an identity moving forward. We want to bring in players that can grow into something, not grow out of it. So
you know what's funny as well? It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting talking point.
Yeah,
one that clearly, and this is factually clearly amongst the United View community, over 2.5K watching live. By the way, if you haven't smashed a like on the video and subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. But one that's clearly got the community split. We've got over 1,500 votes, and it's still 53% yes, they should sign N'Golo Kante, and 47% say no, which is weird because when you read the chat, a lot of people are agreeing with Owen. Almost, I would have thought everybody was agreeing with Owen, but you look at the people that are voting in the poll, and 53% disagree with Owen. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, I get it as well. Because people are saying, people can come in at an older age and do well. And there are examples. I've seen people are saying James Milner. I see some people saying like, we signed Henrik Larsson. And he played how many games? 3.
Yeah, that was
by the way
March. Yeah, exactly.
But people say
like,
James Milner, and that's fine. But has James Milner ever really? And I know you're saying flex Kante's injury record, blah blah blah. But James Milner, one of his biggest attributes,
he is always available.
He doesn't miss games. These are different situations, in my opinion. But I can see both sides. I just think United need to change that mentality.
Yeah, there are loads of super chats. So let me just go through this list. David, because that was a big debate. Kante brings more to the table than anyone we currently have. Also, if the numbers make sense, why not? Maybe the guys being mentioned don't want to come to Man United. We're a big club, but not a top club at the moment. Okay, fair enough. Hear that. Super chat here from KT says, ask yourself in hindsight, will you sign Matic again? Basically saying that's what it's like. I think that's what Owen's basically saying. You'll be doing the same thing again. Show says, did the same with Matic, learn the lesson. Again, that's what Owen was saying. A lot of people are doing the Matic comparison. K Flow says, how many Chelsea signings have worked at United? We said the same for Matic. We signed him 3 years too late. It'll be a waste of time. So everyone's comparing him to Matic. I think I personally think different type of profile of player. And have different impacts on the game, in my opinion. And Matic, to be fair, I think his thing is it's not been availability. He just didn't have the impact that they thought he was going to have, and slowly, obviously, got phased out. Then when he was playing, it was like, oh, he's the only one that actually keeps the ball properly. But we should have found that earlier. Do you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. Rafa says, imagine having Kante for 2 seasons and him mentoring Fred. Thinking emoji. Could that work? And sorry, it's quite a few more. Let me make sure I get them.
We spent
Sanjeet says,
an hour on this topic.
Exactly. And it wasn't supposed to be. That's the beauty of it. This was supposed to be a quick thing that is so not going to happen. Let's just quickly discuss it. But that's the beauty of football. Sanjeet says, isn't it simple? If we have changed and learned our lessons, and this is the man who Ten Hag wants, get him. Let's back Ten Hag. I think Owen was saying that, like, if Ten Hag gets him and he arrives, then you back the manager. But Owen just didn't see the mileage in it, and a lot of people in the comments didn't see the mileage in it. Jermaine says, Kante not the issue. It's how United deal with Kante would be the issue. And Lil Yo-Yo says, Owen is Owen in at the moment. We need to find the next Kante. So Lil Yo-Yo, big up, always in the chat. always coming through super chats, is in Owen's corner today. And super chat here from Tunku says, if Eric Ten Hag wants Kante, who are we to argue? A lot of people saying that. Just get behind the manager. And Wilson says, N'Golo Kante is not the defensive midfielder. De Jong will be, and Kante will not stop a player like Kamara coming in. Squad depth is what we need. Again, like Kamara coming in, sorry. And I think we are good. Oh, here you go. Karen took the kids. Says so Alex Ferguson got Van der Sar, Sheringham, Blanc, etc. Not every player over 28 is washed. I understand Owen's point, but we have to back the manager. If he sees something, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And LOL Tuhar said, if Eric Ten Hag wants Kante, I'm backing the manager full stop. Eric might be able to mold his game for his style of play. So
yeah, no,
really,
I agree.
really,
I agree with that. You back the manager, and I think in those circumstances, like the Van der Sar one, I think with an older player, like I said, if you're going into a squad where you're just missing that, like Van der Sar, right? We was missing a keeper at that point.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You drop him in. That's what
back
we
then.
need.
That was the answer. It was like the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
And in goal, you can play for ages as well.
And with this, it's a little bit different because you drop Kante in, like you said, makes us better. There are still many different points of failure at Manchester United. That would be my view.
Let's move on. I did not expect to
Shall we?
long on N'Golo Kante. I'm going to leave the poll running just for banter's sake, just because I am on the Kante thing. We're going to move on now. But should United sign Kante? Obviously, click yes or no. 53%.
I want to bring something up.
Go for it.
I want to bring something up. Ronaldo made a post. Well, he didn't make the post, but I read it that he said, "Oh, next season, we're excited, looking for the new manager, and we want to go and win some titles." Is that Ronaldo just being Ronaldo? And I don't want to disrespect the GOAT, but is he being oblivious to what's behind him?
Nah, he's just being Ronaldo. I think he's being Ronaldo. He's never going to say, oh, come on, guys, you saw how crap we were yesterday. There's no way we're going to win anything next year. Because in his head, because I believe he's staying, I think it's fair to say he's staying now. He's been pictured in the new kits. He's talking, about we can't wait for next year. It's la-da-da-da. I think, Faz, to answer your question, because I get what you're saying. You're like, has he not? You're basically saying, bro, have you not seen us? Do you not see how far away we are? But in his head, because he's Ronaldo, he believes we can win trophies. In his head.
And that's his mentality, isn't it? I think that's what he was trying to say. He was like, I think he was saying we have to believe that we're capable of winning titles. Yeah. Basically saying that it's like anything. It's like Roy Keane when he was with Ireland. That time when he left, he went home in 2002. He said, I was there with Ireland, but I was there to win the World Cup. It might be very unrealistic, but I played to win. And I think that's essentially what he's almost trying to say there, Ronaldo. Like, if we're not going in the season with the mentality of we can win it, why are we even here? Even though we're probably not going to win it.
Not probably not. Not probably not.
There's the 1% chance. No, he's basically saying, look, that's the mentality we should all have, right?
Yeah. Well, was you a bit worried there? Did you think he'd been on the sherbets?
I just wish other players had the same mentality. At the end of the day, reality is reality. Yes, as much as I can say, anything is possible if you believe in God, which is true. But the state that the club is in, I wish some of the other players had that mentality. Like it would make world difference if the other players had just half of that mentality, because you're not going to win the title, you might not win the cup or whatever, but just going out and playing like that says a lot more. You will go a lot further. The way this club's changing room and just the aura around this club is just so negative. There seems to be nothing positive about Manchester United at the moment. Even I'm thinking, do players even look at Manchester United and like want to come here and play? Really and truly.
Do you think they will now? Ten Hag's here and they can see a new thing, or do you think players will like to kind of throw the question at you, even though you're asking it, Faz? Do you think that could basically change if they see Ten Hag come here, see him get a Frankie De Jong and start or something like that, and start saying, actually, you know what, I could actually be part of this rebuild? Or do you think, nah, look at them, they're in the Conference League, probably. I'm staying well away from there for at least 3 or 4 years. I want to see how that goes.
I wouldn't be bothered about if the club is in Champions League or Conference League or whatever. At the end of the day, a player wants probably the number one thing will be is if you're starting week in, week out, if the manager's going to believe in you and play you week in, week out, or you're going to be a squad player. The other thing is wages. Nowadays, players just think about wages. Who can make the most money in, because your career is short, right? You want to, and Manchester United is known for that. But going on a build, if I was a player, I'd be scared. I'd be thinking this club is filled with so much politics, so much just media leakage constantly. I'd want to see some changes before I'd want to come in. Really and truly, I'd want the manager to make some changes with the players that are left, to be able to say, okay, you know what? Actually, this club, okay, Ten Hag is capable of turning around. As much as we believe in Ten Hag, like I don't want to even say it, but God forbid. You know what I mean? God forbid. Then what? So I don't think Manchester United is that team when it comes to transfer market anymore. I don't see the attraction in Manchester United when it comes to transfer market. I don't see the attraction when it comes to going and fighting for an FA Cup or a Carling or being even in contention for top 4 next season, the season after. We just need to become an attractive team again. And it's just very sad and upsetting that Ronaldo thinks he can go forward and maybe win another title at United. And big respect to him. I hope it comes true, but God, it'll take a miracle for that to happen.
Owen, are Man United still attractive?
Again, it depends on the type of player. And to bring almost back to the Kante situation, that's why I wouldn't want a player like Kante, because as Faz said, you question what are you coming here for? Because you're not coming here to win things right now at this point, especially if you're in the latter stages of your career. So if anything, the fact that we haven't been successful at all, you could almost try and do my best Marcel impression here to turn it into a positive of going, right, players that are going to come here have to really want to be here, because we can't offer you that much. We're drawing a line in the sand when it comes to money. We're not going to spend stupid money anymore, because that's got us into this position now. So to come here, you're going to have to want to be here. You're going to have to want to look at people like Erik Ten Hag. You're going to have to look at people like Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to be in the same dressing room as him. I want to learn something. I want to improve. I want to develop. That's why, again, we've got to be looking at that certain profile of player. Manchester United will always be an attractive club because of its history. But at the moment, obviously, as you did the interview with Andy Coleflex, we can't offer Premier League titles. We can't offer Champions Leagues yet. So, again, that's why it goes back to the profile of player. Erik Ten Hag is going to be really important, because he's going to try and convince him of the project. That's why I think he's looking at people like Frankie de Jong, because he's looking at, okay, where do I have an in of a player that maybe ultimately United shouldn't be able to get this season with not being in Champions League football, with not having the success. The in is that he's worked with him in the past. So Man United's still an attractive club, but again, that's why I look at it. The profile has to completely change. We need to be looking at, like when Liverpool weren't doing great, right? They still managed to sign players, which now, 5 years later, we've got now unbelievable players. How did they sign them at the time? Because they believed in the coach, they believed in the project, and they believed in the football that they saw at the time. At the time, when Liverpool signed him, like when they signed Mane or whatever, do you think they were saying to him, oh, yeah, we're going to win Premier League titles? You'd be like, I don't know. That might be a way off. That's part of the recruitment process. That's why people like John Murtough, I think Faz spoke about changes at the club. Obviously, we haven't seen it on the pitch yet, but certainly off the pitch. How many changes have there been in the last month or 6 weeks alone? When it comes to scouts leaving, head of recruitment leaving, directors leaving, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of change that you would hope eventually affects on the pitch. So this summer is just going to be massive, because at the end of it, if we're in the exact same position and we have just a traditional Man United summer like we've had for the last few years, then you'll go, we've learnt nothing. It's exactly the same, So that's why the summer's massive.
Lil Yo says, Flex, promise you won't touch the goalpost at Selhurst Park. On a lighter note, just like Owen is questioning signing Kante, is it not the same for de Jong? I promise we won't be touching goalposts at Selhurst Park.
Good.
But we're going to lose anyway. Doesn't matter. Looking forward to that as we finish off. Thank you, David Lee, for the super sticker. Appreciate that, bro. Amazing mod as well. Like all the other mods. Big up Mimi as well. We've got a lot of good mods. Steffi Jenkins as well. Hope we get Chouamini, says Jordan Lopez. I think Liverpool are in for him as well, though, mate. Honestly,
I don't care. Make the deal happen. This is what grinds my gears.
Again, go back to
United were linked first. No,
you're
hear
saying
me
make
out.
the deal
Manchester
happen.
United.
Make the deal happen. You have to be money.
Manchester United were linked first. In came Liverpool.
We were first. We were first. We were linked first.
We were first. Yeah, and then in came Liverpool, and this is what Manchester United did. They went out the picture. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's
What
not
can United
fair.
offer him? What can United offer him that Liverpool can at the moment?
Build. Think of the build, kid. Ten Hag. Build. 2-3 years. Premier League. Manchester United. You know, class of 92. You could be class of freaking 25 with Garnacho, Hannibal.
He's French,
Zidane,
isn't
you know,
he's French to me, isn't he? He's French. But I want to win titles. Good impression. I want to win titles, Faz.
we
Ten
will
Hag.
win.
Who am I
we
talking
will-
to?
How can I do
What?
Ten Hag's accent? Does Ten Hag has? I don't even. I'm not even gonna try it.
Bonjour.
But
I want to win titles.
I'm not gonna try. You
Forget
will
it.
win it. You'll win it. I believe in you. I can make you a superstar. If you want to be a superstar, you come and join Manchester
Au
United.
revoir.
60
Au revoir. The negotiations.
67,000 at the under 18s FA Youth Cup. Week in, week out, 70,000. Your profile, your career. Come here. You know I'll look after you. You know you'll play week in, week out. You're very young. Going into Liverpool now, they'll go declining soon. And when I go on the build in a few years,
So it's-
winning titles,
so it's Steve
Europe,
McLaren.
Champions League.
I can't do impressions. I've never been able
Me.
to.
We have to make it happen.
Yeah.
Chouameni has to come. Oh, what a player he would have been if he came to Manchester United. I really hope.
He ain't coming, Man United, bro.
Yeah, it's just sad, isn't it? It's sad.
Yeah.
Even
it is.
Kamara, free.
Yeah, we'll see. Bukayo Kamara, we'll see. Potentially on a free. What show? Over 2,500 people watching all the way through. Sick. Smash a like on the video, peeps. Make sure you lot subscribe to the channel if you're new. Lil Yo-Yo also says, Angry Faz Hogan, let me tell you something, brother. That was Faz a minute ago.
Yeah.
We
Hold on,
discussed a
Ten
lot.
Hag is calling me again. Yeah? You want to make Chouameni? Yes, sir.
Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. We didn't even get to talk about the Pogba situation, but the latest reported on that is that Juventus are very close to convincing Paul Pogba to return to Turin. They are also preparing to offer a 3-year contract to the player who would rather have a proposal over 4 seasons. Leonardo from PSG met Pogba in person, but despite the mutual interest and the proposed offer, there is an institutional context of PSG, and Nasser Al-Khalifi is less convinced by the profile of Pogba. So they're basically not really having him. They're trying to prioritize keeping what's his name? Mbappe at the moment, it seems. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But again, it's not really any of our concern, really. He ain't going City, so don't really care. Whatever. He's definitely ain't playing for Man United again.
Wouldn't care one bit.
Yeah, you said
Wouldn't
that, didn't
faze me.
you?
I don't know what this thing
Yeah.
is, an obsession about players going to City. And so what?
They're
Concentrate on your
rivals.
own
They're in the same city. They're in Manchester. Of course we would care.
No, concentrate on your own house. You know, try and fix your own roof. Forget about someone else's.
Owen's not having that. Owen Faz being at it. Peeps, smash a like a video. We'll be back tomorrow with another video for you guys. We will have a full view coming soon, so don't worry about that. Probably tomorrow. We'll check on everybody. Everyone's got stuff to do and stuff like that. So, but we will have one as early as possible because we didn't have one. But this was just as good. Anyway, peeps, we're out of here. Smash a like on the video. Peace.